Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 2CTV, your global news channel. We come to you guys with some breaking news coming from Turkey. The uprising against Erdogan's Islamist forces continues. The government in Turkey have now ordered the arrest of more opposition leaders who are responsible for these protests. Students are now out, and everybody else are joining this movement against Erdogan's dictatorship. And in this live stream, we're going to also give you guys the latest update on what's going on across the Middle East and the whole region, including the situation with the IDF and Hezbollah, IDF and Hamas, the US and the Houthis, the US and Israel, and the Islamic Republic of Iran. It's all kicking off at the same time. Let's go through what we are seeing. We have a number of videos which we're going to show you from tonight. The clashes between the Turkish Patriots who want freedom and democracy against Erdogan's dictatorship. Before we start, I'm actually quite proud of this, but I do need a favor from you guys. Unlike other channels, we're doing really well. 63% of you who are watching this channel are subscribed. 36.8% of you still not subscribed. If you want to get the latest updates, make sure to subscribe and also click on the notification bell. That's the best way you get notified when we have a news update, and it tends to be always breaking news. Right, tonight, the protests across the country continues in major cities. Adana also had a huge crowd coming out. Ankara, obviously, Istanbul still remains the hub for these protests. Let's go to the first couple of videos we have. Then we're going to give you guys the latest update, because the whole thing, obviously, the final spark was when the mayor of Istanbul, who was essentially a very popular rival to Erdogan, this is Ekrem İmamoğlu, who was arrested. And obviously everyone said, well, this is just complete tyranny now. And now we are seeing massive uprising across Turkey. It's all happening. Of course, I can already see some comments in the live chat about Erdogan's tyranny. Yes, he's not going to give up that easily. He's going to be completely hurting many people. We'll get your reaction soon as well. But again, some of the videos coming out is completely concerning, the way the police and security are responding to these protesters. Let's go to the next one. Oh yes, of course, and it's not really a surprise that we are seeing this sort of level of a tyrannical response in countries like Turkey. A lot of people will be surprised if they haven't been following the political issues in Turkey over the last 10-15 years, but this is no longer the Turkey that you had in the 1990s. Now, more footage is also coming out again from across the country. Obviously, the first one was Adana. The footage coming from Istanbul is also extremely concerning, the way the police are reacting. Let's go to that. Then we're going to obviously cover what's actually been going on tonight in Israel, and of course in Yemen as well, with the US Air Force and President Trump being extremely robust against the Houthis and the IRGC. Let's go back to Turkey and see what's been going on.
İstiklal yolunu trafiği kapatarak eylem yapan gruba sesleniyorum. Yüzlerini kapatarak eylem yapan gruba sesleniyorum. Lütfen yüzlerini açarak, yolun trafiği açarak lütfen dağılınız. Dağılma istikametiniz armada. Dağılmadığınız takdirde orantılı olarak güç kullanılacaktır. Dağılma istikametiniz armada istikametidir. Lütfen dikkat, polis konuşuyor. İstiklal yoluna trafik kapatarak eylem yapan gruba sesleniyorum. Yapmış olduğunuz eylem kanunların sınırları.
Abi basın.
Absolutely shameful. Imagine being part of the security forces and the police. You're a normal Turk. That's your job. But you're doing this in the name of Erdogan. How can you do this? Beat up your own people. And at the end of the night, go back home and sleep and see your family. How can you face your neighbors if you're doing this? One thing is follow the orders when there is disorder. Another thing is following the order from a dictator. This is a problem. That's why many people are saying enough is enough. This completely chaotic behavior, and these guys want to be in the European Union? Are you kidding me with this? So let's go back, and we have the latest videos also. This is just to show the level of the crowd in Istanbul.
Türkiye'yi birlikte kurtaracağız.
This is not just a normal protest. This is just not a small group, a loud minority. The problem we have is that Erdogan still doesn't understand that the younger generation have had enough. It's not really just those who've been opposing him for the past millions of years now. If you want to be respected by your international allies wanting to join the EU or stay in NATO, well, you have to get rid of Erdogan. And people in Turkey know this. The problem is the police and security in the name of Erdogan going around shooting at the protesters with rubber bullets, but still absolutely disgusting. Watch this video. Disgusting. Erdogan still claims that Turkey is still a normal country, still a normal government with the consent of the public. This is what you see in Taliban's Afghanistan right now. Not in Turkey. Despite all the problems in Turkey, by the way. You're not supposed to be seeing this. But obviously it's normal now because of Erdogan. Now, Ankara. We have to also show you guys footage from Ankara because a lot of students have been brave enough to continue to stay out, especially the last couple of days. Now, if this were in the UK, the Prime Minister will call them far-right football hooligan thugs, right? Obviously not in that situation. So you have that to deal with, right? All this footage, all this violence that you're getting from the police themselves, that's one thing. But let's not forget, Erdogan has been poking the bear a lot. Erdogan has become quite ambitious. Not only he's oppressing his own people, not only he's ruining the heritage of Turkey, but actually he thinks he's a big dog on the international stage. He's been threatening Israel. He's been going around causing chaos in the region. He helped with the overthrow of Assad. Not that Assad was a good guy, but Erdogan's minions basically Al-Jilani and Tahrir al-Sham, they're not good guys either. That's what Turkey did. That's what Erdogan did. Now, meanwhile, speaking of obviously the Middle East, we have some concerning updates also coming from Israel. Once again, Jerusalem this time was massively targeted by the Islamists. This is the map of obviously Israel, and you can see the Jerusalem side on the right hand side and the eastern side. These are the alerts. Obviously the Iron Dome was fully activated and did a great job. Explosions were heard, but the Israeli Defense Forces did a good job. The IDF themselves are massively expanding their ground operations in Gaza. They have advanced into a Shabura camp in Rafah, destroying the infrastructure of Hamas. Terror, obviously, the troops by the IDF are continuing their operations in the northern parts of Gaza as well, the Netzarim corridor and the coastal areas. In northern Gaza, the IDF soldiers managed to dismantle a command center for Hamas that was used for attacks. Airstrikes obviously targeted Hamas and also Islamic Jihad, which was a massive success. But in regards to what's actually been going on in terms of Jerusalem and across the country, obviously sirens have been going off again tonight because of the missiles have been they've been launched. Just a heads up, if you're watching from Israel, the next video is going to be the actual sirens, so don't freak out and maybe turn on the volume so your neighbors don't get scared. Watch. The media is not really telling you that Israel continued to be attacked. Again, we've been saying this for about a year and a half. If Israel didn't have good defense, it would have been wiped out by now. If Israel didn't have good defense, all these missiles would have been targeting civilian areas, and then the media would have been forced to actually report it, right? Perhaps. But they don't report it because they see the other side as the underdogs. No, Israelis are just good at defending their country. That's all. That's the only thing that you see. By the way, we also have this update in regards to what's been going on in Lebanon. This picture you're seeing, the IDF attacked a military site containing underground infrastructure. This is in the Bekaa Valley region in Lebanon, and a military site containing rocket launchers in southern parts of Lebanon. And the explosion went massively boom boom. It was absolutely huge. It was like fireworks. So another part of infrastructure for Hezbollah had been completely dismantled. Another huge victory for the IDF over the last 2-3 days since they resumed their counterterrorism operation both in Lebanon and in Gaza. They just keep winning and winning and winning. Meanwhile, the situation with Rafah, expected tomorrow to hear from the United Nations, the European Union, the ICJ and all the others to condemn the Israelis. Meanwhile, at the same time, the situation between Iran and the Western world is escalating. Emmanuel Macron has now urged all French citizens to immediately leave Iran. With everything that's been going on in the country, instability in Iran, uprising in Iran, President Trump threatening the Islamic Republic, it's probably not the safest place right now. And President Trump has also told the Israelis that there's no need for you to retaliate against the Houthis in Yemen because don't worry, we got your back. President Trump and the US Air Force are completely pounding the remaining members of the Houthis. The 2-week deadline on Iran still exists and the Islamic Republic are freaking out. So the Iranian regime have their own people to deal with. On the other hand, they have their own external enemies, as in the West and the Israelis. And seems like it's not going to be a good new year for the Iranian regime. Now, let's get some reaction from the lovely humans in the live chat. Teresa, thank you very much for your super chat from Canada. Saying, my husband is Kurdish. He thinks you don't like the Kurds. Since when? And he says that the Prince of Iran doesn't like Kurds. Yes, he does. Where is this coming from? I'm Canadian and married this fine man. Turks don't like the Kurdish too. Yeah, I mean, a lot of Turks don't like the Kurds. I'm not Turkish, for the record. What are your thoughts? No, I love the Kurds, especially obviously the Iranian Kurds. They're the best, the best kind of Kurds. I've criticized the communists who happen to be Kurdish, and the the commie terrorist side, but not all Kurds are part of that. There's a difference. It's like, for example, saying, oh, well, I hate the Brits because Jeremy Corbyn is British. Yeah, Jeremy Corbyn is a communist. Doesn't mean all Brits are communists. So, yes, there are a bunch of far left weirdos who are Kurdish, and they've been going around causing chaos. And there are also those who simply want self-determination and independence. You know, I support those guys. Anybody who believes in life and freedom and doesn't like communism, it's my guy. Yeah, I mean, I can't speak for all the Turks, but yeah, there's a big chunk of Turks, especially in the establishment, who don't like the Kurds. So that's just a historic matter, not for me. And I know for a fact the Prince of Iran, the Crown Prince, definitely likes the Kurds because the Kurds like him. They literally support him. So, again, for the record, the Iranian Kurds. Now, where are we with the rest of you guys? Aaron says the same mindset of the Turkish police is in the UK. I mean, yeah, it depends who the British police are dealing with. If they're dealing with the far left, then yeah, they're quite soft. If they're dealing with nationalists and patriots, then oh yes, they bring out their batons and the horses and everything else that they have. Now, Dale says Kurds are not Turks. Turds, what? Oh my god. You just managed to insult both sides at the same time. Brilliant. Next. What else do we have? Stu says, free Turkey, get Quran to sponsor it. And Debbie, thank you for your super sticker. Let's get some non-super chats from you guys. Oh, David Judd is not happy, ladies and gentlemen. He's saying, you're doing a lot of Middle Eastern S now. Yes, 2CTV is a global geopolitical news channel. And, you know, obviously when things happen around the world, we reported. We've been reporting from South Korea. We've been, obviously, the last couple of days, been chaos in the Middle East. And obviously, two days ago, yesterday, 2 days ago, the focus was mostly on the United States with the JFK files and the attack on Tesla. And yeah, so it really depends. And obviously, a few days ago, it was mostly about the UK. So that's how global news channels technically work. Erdogan, toast or tyrant? Well, I think both. He's a tyrant who's toast. Although, again, he's not going to go easily. He's protected by a lot of the loyalists, let's just say. So that's one of the biggest issues that you have. There's still a lot of people in the establishment and in the military who, I don't know, if they're terrified or they just believe in his stupid cause. Phil says, Erdogan won't take this. He will hurt many, many people. Phil is absolutely spot on. So the level of violence you're going to see. So I think what they're going to do, so even in Iran, the Islamic Republic tend not to give too much evidence to the world about what they do against the protesters, right? Even though they end up shooting them and arresting them and torturing them, they still pretend that it's not happening. It's all just denied. They shut down the internet and all this. Turkey under Erdogan is going to do the exact same thing, but much more, because Turkey, the Turkish government, are still hoping to negotiate with the EU. And one main thing is that he cannot come across as a complete tyrant to the Western media, because they're not going to, they might even kick him out of NATO. So he's going to find a way to do a crackdown without it coming across as a crackdown, if that makes any sense. Timothy defends us, saying it is a world news channel. Thank you, Timothy. Yeah, some people get it. Phantom says, Turkey needs to be kicked out of the EU and NATO. Well, the good news is they're not in the EU. They are in the Customs Union, which is part of the EU, but they're not in the EU. But obviously, that's a whole different thing. Yeah, the NATO thing needs to be reviewed. Blue Sapphire says, despite the heavy police presence, I get the feeling that it won't hold on for long. There's too many people, angry people, who are fighting for their country. Again, let's not forget, the Turks, in terms of the mentality, if you get them angry, it will be very difficult to stop them. So Erdogan might have made a mistake here, especially when it comes to arresting Ekrem Imamoglu, I keep forgetting his name, Imamoglu, and the whole thing will be backfiring massively on the whole of the establishment. It's over for Erdogan. Police is not going much to stop this demonstration. Again, we'll see if it will die down. Even if it dies down, just like in Iran, it will build up again and it will come back. Eventually it's going to implode. Now, James also says that you are one opinion. Yes, that's true. Who likes to get paid for staring? I don't know who's doing that. What is your true motivation? Reporting the news for you guys and obviously giving you guys a fact and also my opinion. And it's an interactive show, so get your opinion just like you, James, even though you have issues. So that's my motivation. Welcome to the world. Welcome to the grown-up world. For the record, there's no evidence of me stirring the pot in Turkey. I have not visited Turkey in a long time, and I'm not connected to Erdogan. I'm also not connected to Ekrem. So I have not started this. Even if I wanted to, they did it. I'm reporting it. So, and I'm not a Turk. Crazy people. All right. Cynthia says, if I'm still alive, when the app comes out, will it give us the capability to gift a membership to someone on 2CTV Plus? We have that now. I forgot to announce it. Sorry, guys. We've had it for the past few days. You can now gift 2CTV Plus memberships to people. Woo woo! Finally, a lot of people have been requesting this because you can gift memberships on YouTube. But obviously, we're not in charge of the YouTube memberships. That's controlled by Google on YouTube. So, best thing you can do, join 2CTV Plus, which is our independent platform on 2c.tv. You can also find the link in the description. And but if you go now, and if you obviously try to register in the form, you go at the bottom, and it actually says a question: do you want to gift it as a gift this membership to someone else? And you can put their email address, and you can basically gift the membership to other people. Yay! All right. Debbie says, from the US, 3 arrested in Tesla attacks will be sentenced up to 20 years. The crackdown on both the terrorists against Tesla, but also those who've been causing chaos in university campuses is still carrying on, which is absolutely brilliant. Jennifer says, this is my favorite live chat. Oh, thank you. I mean, generally or just tonight? As a channel or this show? We've had better ones with more trolls. Tonight it's just James. I don't know what James is talking about. Don't forget your good looks, Maya. If I were gay, I would. But I'm not. Sorry, dude, for getting your hopes up there. Firstly, that sounds gay. Secondly, my fiance would be happy to hear that she's not losing me to anybody from the same gender as me. So, what is this? Misha says, Maya, you are being Islamophobic for not letting Erdogan reclaim the Ottoman Empire. I know. How dare I? It's let Erdogan do what he thinks he's playing Risk, the board game. He doesn't realize he's not a big dog. He's not. He might be tall, but he's not a big dog. He thinks that because his relationship with Putin is also kind of on the rocks. It's not really that close anymore. And he's been poking the bear with Israel. President Trump is going to basically keep an eye on him. Not that America's going to do anything against Turkey, but in terms of the relationship in NATO. And we'll see how long this idiot will last. Dale says, I'm also Canadian. Lovely Canadians everywhere taking over this channel. And her husband needs to not generalize on people. Oh, this is about the other Canadian person. And her husband, the Kurdish husband, needs to not generalize on people and other races. Our battles are not against the common brothers and sisters. Exactly. As Donald Trump said, there are good people on both sides. Good people and bad people on both sides. On all sides, for the record. Jojo says, leave the dogs alone. When did I... Oh, big dog. Erdogan is not a big dog. Yeah, dogs' lives matter. We have John Craig saying, people seem to forget that the Turkish people are some of the bravest on the planet. As I said, yeah, don't get them angry. You can't stop them. The Immortals were one of the finest military units in history. It is absolutely impressive, by the way, the recovery for Turkey, as in the Turkish culture and society, especially obviously since Ataturk and all the improvements that they did. They kept their heritage, they modernized society, but they still kept the discipline, even though successive governments were a bunch of idiots in Turkey. And they had some good governments, but like, in the 90s, relatively good. The Turks, they still have the mentality. Again, we're primarily talking about the Turks who are still in Turkey, the ones who actually care about their country, the patriots who still work hard. But they've been governed by a bunch of weirdos, so... Erdogan is going to be replaced by the moderate Muslims who will bring peace in the Middle East and make it the new first world. That has been the plan all along. Imagine if you get a Christian, right, as a leader in Turkey. That would be great, right? I don't mind if the moderate Muslims come and modernize Turkey. That would be great as well. Oh my God, we have our favorite troll. He's back. Thank you, RJ's Clips. Let's see what he's complaining about tonight. When you say Turkish nationalists, patriots, but yeah, not nationalists, do you mean European globalists and progressives? No, patriots who some of them don't even want to join the EU. They're literally against all globalists and everybody else. You are a walking contradiction. No, because I'm not talking about the European progressives. I'm talking about the Turkish nationalists who are in Turkey, you idiot. Use your brain. Typical privately educated boy lecturing working people. I grew up on a council estate in Lewisham, southeast London, and went to a comprehensive Church of England school. It was one of the worst schools ever. Privately. Also, what's wrong with privately educated people? Some of the nice people. It depends on the parents. Yes, Lewisham. I don't actually think. I think there was one independent school in the area, near Lee Green, on the border between Lewisham and Greenwich in southeast London. But no, I went to Church of England, which was called Northbrooks. It's now called Trinity, which is still technically a Christian-ish school, but it's very, very woke and progressive. It embraces all faiths. It literally has a cross on the school logo, but all faiths. But yeah, no, so you're an idiot. You don't understand what I'm saying. So we're talking about the actual nationalists in Turkey. And also, no, I went to a state school, not private school. All right, so good effort, by the way, tonight. You tried your best. Better luck next time. Cynthia says, wow, you brought good news for the second time this week, which is quite rare, by the way, because usually this channel is about doom and gloom. Well done, Mimaya. Yeah, this is about the gifting memberships. Yes, you can now gift memberships on 2CTV Plus. Ivan says, RJ's Clips had no education. Yeah, he doesn't actually understand. He doesn't know what the European progressives are. Another one says, stop embarrassing yourself. You're thick as mince. Oh, brilliant. How many languages do you speak, Maya? So English, Klingon, relatively Persian, and that's it. Yes, primarily English, obviously. Right. Although I'm being told that our kids will have to learn languages. So I'm going to push for Italian, because why not? Let's go rogue. Just in case the Roman Empire returns. You have to be on standby. Because I don't. A lot of more people speak Spanish, for example, but I don't think the Spanish are going to take over the world. And the Chinese, they're going to implode. It's not a threat. So just in case Italy decides to rise up again, learn Italian. Also, it's a lovely language. Also controversial. I'm one of the few people who actually really likes and enjoys the German language. I know a lot of people say, oh, German. I really like German language. So why not? German, Italian. I just realized I'm focusing on German and Italian. Yeah. Last time those two were allies. Things happened. Fiona says French is normal to learn at school. Yeah, not my Church of England comprehensive school. We didn't do French. But yeah, private schools. Yeah. Anyway, I'm waiting to see what RJ's clips is going to moan about now. Parlo Italiano. Why not? Now, people are just putting random Italian things now. Cappuccino coffee. Italy or Nazi? Well, that... Firstly, even in the 30s, Italy under Mussolini was not National Socialist, it was fascist. Huge difference between fascism and National Socialism. Lindsay says Turkey is in with Israel and Arabs think Erdogan is the savior. I mean, Turkey is not really with Israel, considering Erdogan has been threatening the Jews every day. But, it's a whole different problem for Erdogan. He just says, the great pretender. I try. Julie says, German's a nightmare to learn, is it? Yeah, that's what I thought. The German language is very similar to the English. Also, there's a lot of similar words because obviously the Germanic side to England, there's a lot of similar words in German and in English. Pamela says, Tusi, what does it cost to subscribe to your channel? Well, Tusi TV here, it's free, obviously, because why we can't charge because it's YouTube. Tusi TV Plus, our independent platform, which can be found on tusi.tv, separate away from YouTube, uncensored. That is currently £5 a month, and it just about covers the costs, by the way. Or the annual memberships, you get 1 month free. I don't do maths apparently tonight. How much is it? I want to say 55. Is it 55? Can someone confirm? My own website, I don't even know. It's 55 instead of 60. £55, one-off for the annual access. You get access to all the documentaries, chat forums, series. We've got a number of other things coming up soon as well. Big plans. Matthew says, Tusi, are you Christian? Yes. Team Jesus. Let's see. Luke says, why is RJ's clips so angry all the time? He's bored. The fact that he, instead of watching Netflix, he chooses to watch this channel and talk nonsense is kind of funny. He's back. What's he saying now? Mr. Tea Leaf TV. Well, that's a good one as an install. Actually, well done. Tea Leaf TV. That's quite funny. Keep peddling the lies. And oh yeah, by the way, in case you're not familiar with RJ's clips, he's not like a left winger. He's a Nigel Farage loyalist. Ooh. And the anti-Farage propaganda. There's no anti-Farage propaganda. When Reform UK have an infighting, I simply report it. That's it. And if Farage does something wrong, I call it out. Just like Starmer, just like Kemi Badenoch, or anybody else. I don't really care about your parties. I will criticize all of you. You don't truly want change. You have a picture of queer Starmer on your wall. Which one do you think is Starmer? Did I read that right? Starmer. I have a picture of Starmer on my wall. Traitor. What? That's Japanese, right? Traitor. It means traitor. There's an extra O on there for some reason. Do you think that's Starmer? Because that's William Gladstone. Great Prime Minister. If you think that's Starmer, I mean, he's got better hair than Starmer. That's the Donald. If you think that's Starmer, that's closer to Starmer. That's a dog. That's an actual dog. I don't see Starmer anywhere. Is it? Starmer, are you hiding here again? You being naughty? Are you in the closet? He's in the closet, guys, with Lord Ali. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got to take a break. I'm done with this nonsense. All right, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Click on the notification bell. Join 2C TV Plus. You can gift membership now. I'm Maya 2C, and we are the media.